Hello all and welcome back to another video. I am Hell Dragon and today we'll be talking about Roschard the Tower, since I know that a lot of you should be pulling him because of the fact that he's on the 10 times event. Well, a lot is a relative term. People should be pulling him based off this 10 times event. So first thing we'll do is we'll go over his gear, how I have him specifically set up, and how I think it can work in multiple settings the way I have him set up, and then we'll talk about his skills, his masteries, and then we'll go straight into the dungeons and stuff like that. So first we'll do the skills. So basically his A1 attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of removing one buff from the target. His A2 is attacks one enemy, places a block cooldown skill debuff and a block buff debuff for 2 turns. These debuffs cannot be resisted. I'm pretty sure that once this is an unlock for his ascension of the 3rd star. I mean, I've had him for such a long time, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that the portion of the debuffs cannot be resisted is the unlock for it. The A3 is places a block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, which is what he is known for. And then his aura, which is increase ally HP in all battles by 33%. Well, the main thing about this guy is, if you don't book him out, at least book him out to try to get his zone of protection down to a 4-turn cooldown, because otherwise it's at 6 turns, and you really can't use him to his full extent at a 6-turn cooldown. He can be used, but it's just not going to be useful. There's also, if you saw my video from yesterday, you saw that I basically had him and an unkillable nightmare team set up using his zone of protection, which is required that it is brought down to a cooldown of 4 turns. We'll go straight into his masteries. I went for, because I use him in the unkillable team, you go down to the defense tree, all the way down here to deterrence and retribution. You want absolutely nothing that boosts his turn meter, like cycle of magic, rapid response. Even if lasting gifts would be nice, but I might consider changing this up later to come down to get lasting gifts. It's going to be difficult to, like, a lot of the stuff over here he doesn't do any heals or whatever, but different stories. So you go down to tough skin, rejuvenate, resurgent, and down here to delayed death, which means he takes less damage as time goes on. Then obviously you do your crit rate, crit damage, and then you get everything down here that just increases his damage, because as an unkillable team you want to have as much damage as possible. And always down here to War Master. And I went with this so we could just do a little bit of healing if he ever gets hit. And then also with no ally should die, but this was just kind of a filler spot. That's the only reason I did that. And just in case he does get hit, he could heal off a little bit more by doing a little more damage, so on and so forth. So that's basically a mastery setup for unkillable. I used to have him coming down here for resistance all the way down to the 50 resistance. I've also had him down here with a whole bunch of accuracy. I've used him with a lot of different ways, but currently I'm using him in the unkillable team, and that's where he's going to stay. Used to have him up to like 68k power with a ton of resistance because I use him in my arena. But we will actually showcase him with these stats with 53,000 health, 2,000 defense. Attack isn't a big deal. Speed has to be precisely at 240 speed for Nightmare and 251 for Ultra Nightmare. The rest of your team does not have to move around except for him. And then if you have the bandwidth, or you have the gear for increasing his crit rate, crit damage to 100%, 200% crit damage, and so on and so forth, you could do that. That allows him to do a ton more damage as soon as possible. Accuracy not a big deal, resistance not a big deal. Basically he's just meant for speed, and we'll show, like, he's just mediocre gear just in order to achieve this desired speed. And we'll show him in arena and how useful having him super fast is, because in all reality he is, with 240 speed, he's faster than most teams out there until you start getting up to platinum and stuff like that. So gold 4, early gold 4, mid gold 4, he's plenty fast enough. So anyways, without yabbering off too much, let's take him straight into a dragon lair. Obviously, I've got some decent champions. I've got some good ones in here, but we're really going to focus on the fact of how often he places that and how often that Roschard provides that protection with a 240 speed. Usually I would have Seer in here, so she eats all the buffs, makes the runs go so much quicker, but I took her out because as I was testing her out earlier, she keeps eating the unkillable before it actually has a chance to protect people. So especially when it comes to Dragon is really what we need to focus on, because waves are going to be easy enough to kill based off, you know, having your Tayrel, even if you have your Kale slash Colt Brawler, Frozen Banshee, all them good stuff. I'm using Battle because I have him. He's just basically here for the poisons. Well, he's basically in here for the buffs, so Seer has extra buffs to eat. Because I have Royal Guard in here basically for the damage for the Dragon. But still, at a minute time frame, second wave, and this is where it actually, because these guys actually hit extremely hard. These crossbowmen, the Hordens could hit hard. It's really nice to get that protection up before they actually start hitting. And want to apologize because the mic I know is not the best. I have one actually on the way right now. It's much better, so hopefully the videos in the future will sound better. I just want to put this out today, especially for Roschard, while the event's going. Figured perfect time for it. But as you see, my Royal Guard is my Glass Cannon in here, and he's basically at full health still. No damage has happened to him because of Roschard. I've basically had Roschard since really early on this account. Battle was my very first pull, and then I pulled a Roschard. So basically those two champions has carried me through the entire game. And then obviously later on I pull Raglan, so there's really has never been a really big push for me to get to Arbiter, because Raglan is actually a better reviver and debuff cleanser and healer. The only thing she doesn't do is a good enough speed boost like Arbiter does. She does do speed boost, but we're not focused on her right now. We're gonna be focused on Roschard, which he should be cycling around placing his thing. Oh, just a little too slow there. I've definitely had him cycle around just like that. Right there is what I was about to talk about, where he cycled it just before the Dragon hits and completely protects her team. With a faster speed, allows him to go basically 2 times to the Dragons 1 time, which allows you to cycle this much faster. So in my opinion, if you're just struggling to be able to kill that Dragon 16 through Dragon 20, this is obviously Dragon 20, Roschard would be a very good option as long as you could provide the gear from. You would want to get HP gloves, HP chest, speed boots, and then try to get everything with substats of speed that reach as high as possible in speed. So that was the almost a 4-minute run. Typically, I could have it as a 2.5-minute run because I have Seer, but that could be a video for a later time. So he definitely provides the ability to block so much damage to there. Same concept through Ice Golem. He's going to protect so much. Spiders, obviously we won't bring them there. Minotaur, if you're reaching up Dragon 16 and higher, you should already have Minotaur level 15. So Fire Knight, he's not going to provide too much, except for he could help keep alive during the waves. But essentially he's going to do the same concept through the rest of the dungeons here. But really what we want to focus on is Dragons, Clan Boss, and Arena, which I'll show you real quick in arena. Let's refresh this, get a fresh start. This is my current team, like I was talking about with the Seer. Roschard, I will throw it on full auto so you can see. Basically, he goes first, provides that cushion space, because if those teams do cut in because my team is a little bit slower, they don't die, they don't take the damage. Allows them to put up their buffs first, get all that going, so that way when Seer comes around, she eats everyone's stuff. Say there's more buffs, obviously I lose one, and then Seer should be cycling around to do her nom nom. Wow, this is actually a pretty real team here. Well, this one was another failure. Alright. Let's try a different one. Let's go with him. I don't have the best arena team here right now, so it's a little rough. Come on, Roschard. Get up in there. There you are. There we go. Now it's a little bit better. Wow, never mind. I'm not too terribly worried because Raglan has a 2-turn revive, so she could hopefully bring up someone. Nope, or not. I mean, this is being a very terrible showcase. But the point would be, obviously you could bring in different champions in here and have a better arena team, but just the concept of him going first, providing the unkillable, could do so much more for your team. Provide so much better utility to bring in. Hey, there you go. Finally got a win. This is actually goal 3. Goal 3 is actually pretty insane as well. Faction Wars, we obviously don't have any Sacred Order, but that provides a really useful tool as well. When I do this, I'll probably explain how you would use him as a nightmare, because I kind of explained it a little bit yesterday on how to use Roschard in the Unkillable, but I didn't get too much into it. First video was playing around with settings and all that stuff, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk through the initial setup. Speaking of which, I will actually, this requires a specific setup. You have to have Roschard obviously at 240 speed. I showed my stats briefly yesterday so you can understand. Then you have to have a debuffer. That's the purpose of Bad Alcazar. He has to be at least 181 to 183 speed. He has to be the fastest of your entire team, outside of Roschard, obviously. If you don't have him, Steel Skull works as well as a debuffer. We'll talk about his setup, but obviously we'd have to switch his speed to 183 and then bring him down because we wouldn't want him in there. Then we'd have a Poisoner. I don't use her, but she's absolutely really good in there. And then your damage dealers need to be at 175 speed. She's set up for when she gets mastered. I can sub her in. She's almost there. Currently I use a Cult Brawler. He's at 174. I still gotta get 1 speed on him. The speed tune gets more accuracy. As you can see, I don't have an accuracy banner for him yet. But 175 speed. Your counterattacker at 174. And then, so yeah, your counterattacker at 174. Your debuffer / damage dealers at 175. Your cleanser at 181 through 183, and then your Roschard at 240. He has to be there. And the only thing you need to do in order to jump from Nightmare to Ultra Nightmare is change Roschard's speed from 140 or 240 to 251. That's the only thing you need to change. This team is completely viable in both aspects except for his speed, which I'm working on getting another helmet to get 11 speed, so on and so forth. So anyways, we'll hop in here. What I'll do is we'll talk through the initial setup, and then when I hit auto, we'll let it play out, and I'll speed it up until the end so we can see the damage. The other thing I want to note here is this team only works on Void, just because of the targeting, the debuff placements that the boss does. If you use green, is the worst because he slows your entire team down, ruins up your speeds. Red isn't okay, but he targets your Roschard a lot, which stuns him, throws off his timing. Blue is the most preferable if you could use, if you want to use Roschard in an Infinity Change. But anyways, going on, to start him off, you have to use his A2. You don't want him to use his A3 first. On Ultra Nightmare, you would use his A3 first. I'll have to learn the rotation. I haven't done Ultra Nightmare too much. Then basically at this point you can hit auto, but if Steel Skull is your debuffer, your cleanser, you want to use his cleanse on a random enemy, doesn't matter what, and then you hit auto, because what that does is it syncs it up to the 4-turn cleanse or the 3-turn cleanse, so that way whenever the stun happens, it cleanses the stun off that champion. Because what's going to happen here is Roschard's going to go fast enough, he's going to go 4 times to the bosses 3 times. And so the only wave that is unprotected is the stun wave. Every other wave is protected by an unkillable. Like right now he's about to stun, no one has an unkillable up. This Roschard's going to go with a basic attack right now. He's going to cycle fast enough to go again before the boss actually goes with his AoE. As you'll see in a second, puts up the unkillable, good to go. Rotation is set up right. And then Bad L will instantly go after the stun round to remove the stuns. That's what makes him, that's why he has to be the fastest of the team. But basically at this point, what we'll probably do is we will speed up the video, and then I will catch you at the end of the video to talk about what happens when people start dying and so on and so forth. like to say that this is basically an introductory to the unkillable compositions, so these guys are not optimally geared yet. It's just I'm working on the mechanics first, and then as we can see, we died a little bit early Generally, this team can last until like turn 50 when the actual boss kills everyone with his one hit because he goes through that. So Occult Brawler is still built in HP. Basically, all you want is every single one of your champs built in defense. Like nothing but defense. 4,000 defense, 4,500, 5,000 defense, whatever you can reach. Because what happens when the first champion gets killed, it throws off the timing of when the turn orders go. So basically, rapidly after then, everyone will die. But still, for a 18 million damage Nightmare 1 key using Roschard and everyone that's basically just doing damage off poisons currently, still pretty impressive. Yeah, 7 million. Usually I can get him to 12 on a normal run. Bad Alcazar obviously does about. If we could get this a lot last a lot longer, we could get almost double the damage here, especially when we can start reaching wave 50. But I gotta regear all that. That will be a later video when we get more optimized. You could generally 2 key right after reset. If you hit twice with a void, you could do this. Do a 2 key setup on Nightmare. Allows you to switch his gear around real quick. Do well, actually, I've actually seen him do 40 million in 1 key. Once they are built optimally, you could do a 1 key Nightmare, and then you could do a 2 key to 3 key Ultra Nightmare run. But yeah, defense is still weak. Defense is weak here. I need double that defense, especially with Occult Brawler. I just haven't built HP. I need double that, almost triple that defense. So once he gets, once they get re-geared and I get more optimal stats like I've been saying, then we'll do another video and we'll do a comparison. This video compared to that video. But anyways, that brings it to the conclusion with Roschard. If you guys are wanting to see a little bit of a different build for Roschard, just obviously leave a comment below. I can re-gear him. I can show him in a progression towards platinum kind of build with a bunch of resistance, a bunch of accuracy, a ton of HP. I can have him up to 100k HP. I've gotten him there before and shown how useful he is there. Super tanky. Vice this way, which is meant to go first, so on and so forth. So just let me know. So I want to say thank you all for watching. If you have any comments or you want to learn anything else, be sure to leave it down there in the comments section. And until I catch you on my next stream, or next video, because I generally stream every day, so if you want to join my stream, I stream daily at hellxdragon.twitch.tv. I stream every day at the in-game reset, so if you actually go here to dungeons, you go look at the counter on the keeps when this resets, that's usually when I go live. So, thank you for watching the video, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.